All right, we are well past summer months. Obviously, we've donned the jackets, hats go on. We're starting to get some really hard frost, which means we're definitely in the midst of fall and temperatures are dropping. And we're kind of getting prepared for our kidding season already next year. And you guys can see behind, we're starting a loft in here. So anybody that's followed our journey from the beginning on our kidding side of our barn, we used to have temporary kidding stalls that we could pick up and move, which is great. We still have those panels and we use them from Seidel. They're wonderful to have, but we did decide to go ahead and put in some permanent kidding stalls back here that have these drop-in walls. You can see over here that we have 2 pieces removed so that that stall is actually much larger than the normal kidding stall that we have here. But we're putting up a loft up here because it's going to help keep all the heat down. We do have some girls that are going to be over here at the end of November. They're going to be over here in December, January, February, March. I may have done a bad thing, and they'll be over here a lot when it's cold weather. So we've got our main architect and engineer on the job. But Mark's doing it for us.
They were saying it could be a hairy winter, so we want to get this shored up. Ashley usually uses the pen up there as storage because we just didn't have a good spot to put a lot of this stuff. So this will allow her to store a lot of this up here. And then of course, because of winter being colder, this will help keep the heat closer to the goats. So if you look up there, you can see we got a lot of space above. Yeah. You know, that allows a lot of the hot air to escape because we need heat lamps here.
That's why I have to film in here so much in the kidding time so that I can fill up the space with all my hot air. Just to make things a little bit more accessible for us here for, like Mark said, storage, because I'm terrible of just picking a stall and just throwing crap in it and leaving it there, much like I'm sure most of you homesteaders and farmers out there do. There's just like a designated crap junk area, and that stall happens to be it. But when I'm kidding, and I'm kidding out a lot of goats, I really need that stall. So these are going to help, and I think it's only cost us, what, $200 in lumber?
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah, and we were surprised.
And our benefit, well, she always has trouble finding good ways to put heat lamps, like how to hook them up or put them in the pens. Yeah. This will give her rafters just to hook. And
it'll actually be safer because with the rafters, I can put chains. Now, a lot of them, you see how like I have hooks over here in the corner on these posts, but I chain them there too, but this will make it to where like I can actually chain with thicker chain from a rafter to come down right in the middle of a stall so that they're not all hunched into a corner, which actually should help with the chance of like kids piling on top of one another, possibly suffocating each other, or does that get cold in the wintertime and decide they'd like the heat lamp more than they'd like to share it with their kids. While I've never had that happen here, I've had other families have it happen, particularly when does want to get under that heat lamp with their kids. So if I have the heat source in the middle of the stall rather than like in a corner here or in that corner, then there's not a pile up. We don't have a dog pile of goats that can end up in someone, you know, being hurt or possibly losing young livestock to suffocation because they were at the bottom of the pile, which, like I said, I've never had it happen here, but it can happen. So this should just make it more comfortable in here, more usable, more storage friendly, and safer for the goats. And when you put all those things together, like, why wouldn't we do it? The time has come and the hours have dwindled down for the old chicken coop because we're getting ready to tear it down. It's been a long time coming, and we're finally at that point where the duck coop is almost done. So the old chicken house, bye. Aria. Oh man, you could tell we were definitely utilizing the deep litter method. Look how much bedding. The first ever chicken coop, anything we ever built on our property to start homesteading has met its end. I don't know whether to be happy because it's become kind of an eyesore. Served its purpose and it housed lots of animals. It was a garden shed for a long while.
We bought it way before inflation.
So it was actually pretty cheap. And now there it is. We are going to be repurposing all of the shingles. It'll go to do something good for us. Yeah, there's an old show. We're finding all kinds of things in here now. But right now what we're concerned about is that is this window. We don't really want to shatter glass, so now we probably should have thought of that before, but I think we just got excited to have a reason to try to destroy something with the tractor. I know Mark was excited to go ram and jam on some demolition work. Dude, what do you think? Be careful. Be careful. See if you get on the roof, you could be a roof dog. Are you happy to have some of it done, babe? Knocking things out this fall, huh? Like, that's what happens when you run us to goat shows all summer long. Has to happen in the fall.
Gives you relief from the senses.
That's true. It's actually very pleasant out here right now.
No matter what, that's what's going on. So, I'll tell the story. It's your gagging.
Stop.
Is it on?
Take it. Yes.
All right.
Turn it.
I got it. Hold it here. I need another fight. Oh, it's.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah, you eat that.
Oh, she licked it.
out of
That's
there.
gonna be bad. All right. Ashley can't handle it. So we just heard what sounded like a gunshot, and investigating a little further, we smelled something real strong. And Django apparently found a old egg in the old barn that we just took down, the shed, and brought it over here. And it was a grenade, basically, and a stink grenade. And yeah, apparently now it stinks everywhere over here thanks to him. Nice.
Well, that's all that's left. It's the end of an era. I keep saying end of an era, but like it's totally normal on homesteads to just like tear everything that you've built up to put something different there.
Lived out its lifespan.
It really did. I was telling Mark, I'm like, this was the first thing you and my dad and your brother were here and you guys all put it up, and I remember it's like of course I'd already bought the chicks, so we had to have a place soon.
Because you brought a rooster in.
Yeah, because I brought a rooster that came out of the woods, which really someone needed to get rid of a rooster and I said yes. So I told Marky, it came out of the woods. It's like it's supposed to be there, and he believed me for a long time, for a really long time. But the tractor has helped us disassemble, so this area is going to look totally different. This is crazy. Like even the wood, I can remember going to where Marky used to work at a pallet factory when we were dating, and picking up pieces of wood to make the bottom of this coop. So we did it while we bought the coop new. We did a lot of repurposing with other things, but this is all in efforts to get things updated over here for the duck project, which has been going for how many years now, babe?
A few.
Since COVID.
Yeah.
August of COVID. So August 2020.
Yeah.
So about 4 years. Not bad. I mean, for us, it's not. They're like.
I mean, they've been in here.
They've been here since the beginning, since 20.
Keep adding to.
Yeah, we always are adding things, and
Thankful for Premier One. They give us some nice little temporary.
it's just funny to watch the landscape change. I mean, can't get away from it, but I kind of like the change. We have been moving so fast on this project. We have surprised ourselves. And really, it's not a moment too soon. We've got kids coming in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We have our set of does. It's going to be Avi and Rapunzel. Will be having babies. They're both due on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know how I did that 2 days in a row, having does due on Thanksgiving Day. Just so drop down in the comments if you have like a Turkey Day name you think they might like. Or might be super cute, but we're definitely moving on this. We're gonna be getting some straw in tomorrow. Mark has, and he did it all by himself. It's the beauty of when he has days off that I don't. He comes out and he still does things. I don't know how he did it by himself, but he did. All we have to do now on some of these rafters is put in extra supportive screws. And then we have old pieces of plywood over here that I plan to just throw up top when we get the straw. And we'll be testing them out right away. But if we keep going at the projected rate that we're moving, then the rafters on this side should be done or close to being done tomorrow. And then the project literally is done outside of plywood, which is the easiest part. To just throw up some plywood. We have lots of particle board and lots of plywood that's just kind of laying around that we haven't used, which is why on a homestead you save everything, because eventually another project is going to need to use it. But we're excited. All right, so we got every stall door open, but it looks so different in here because that space up top used to be empty and wasted. And now it just looks like a little mini barn over here. I really love the way that it looks. Looks don't always matter on a homestead. Functionality matters, but they look good and they are very functional, so they make us very, very happy. What do you think, Chicken Hawk? Chicken Hawk and everybody's in here trying to figure out what we're doing, what we're banging around. It's all for you, girls. It always is. It's always all for you. It's always for you guys. Is it gonna hold?
Need to find another though.
Yeah. You got a girlfriend in there? You have another girlfriend? That is one of our first homebred yearling. Well, she'll be a yearling next year. The Moon Mouse was born in March and she's already she's a huge doe. This whole video doesn't do her any justice. She is a very wide, thick girl. She's definitely pushing 40, 45 pounds and is wide and big enough. By the time she births in April, she'll be a lot bigger than she is now, based on her growth trajectory. So I think she'll be just fine. And I actually have 3 or 4 behind her that I'm gonna go ahead and breed this year too. I'm really proud of our management this year because this is the first year that we've actually had more than like 1 or 2 that were ready to breed along with the rest of the does, which is all just management and genetics. So I'm glad. That means our herd is moving in the right direction. And I'll still have some junior yearlings and senior yearlings to show during next year in 2025. So it'll be great. Well, guys, I didn't get anything last year, but this year I've gotten something, and I am so thankful to be putting something in our freezer. We have lots of chicken in there, we have duck in there, and now we've got deer. You know, I know, like, not everybody agrees with this, but I really don't care. So this morning I thought about filming, but I kind of got out here and I had a doe that was not that far off in the dark. And I don't know if she was blowing at me, but she came up like after I was already settled in and started blowing and doing her thing in the middle of the... And I say doe because does sound alarms during the rut season, whereas bucks just avoid and go around quietly. It was still dark, so I wasn't sure why she was blowing, but I hadn't seen anything all morning. I just heard some other shots over the hill that way and a couple shots that way. So I was like, I'm not going to see anything. I was getting ready to pack up and I saw this guy coming down through the trees and scoped him. Because at this point, guys, like, I don't care if he has antlers. I don't care if it was a doe. We really just want to put something in our freezer. And thank the Lord, we have something to put in the freezer now. I know not everybody agrees with harvesting deer, and that's totally fine. For myself and my family, it is 100% about clean meat that was ethically harvested from land that we know and have worked for years. I haven't had to go to the grocery store in over a decade to buy meat, and deer hunting and harvesting our own livestock have made that possible. You can't change my mind that this is a more ethical option than buying meat from the grocery store that was farmed out by corporate agriculture. You're just not going to change my mind. Smarter, not harder. So we've got a winch on the front, and Katie and I have drug him. Katie's my sister, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. That's my younger sister, Katie. Pulled her side by side out here. It's got a winch. Hooked it to the deer. Smarter, not harder. And we're gonna let this machine do the majority of the hard work. It was already hard enough just getting him close enough to the winch, but deer usually take the path less traveled or of least resistance when they're running in fear. And he went down in that gully, which every deer hunter knows they do that, but when they do fall down in a gully, you kind of curse a little bit because you know that pool is gonna be tough. We've got something exciting to share with you, and we're kind of standing on it. we bought more land. This is actually land that's been, it butts up right next to our 2 acre, or our 13 acres. It's 2 acres total. Now you can kind of come back here and see there's a fence back here where Junebug's at. And it's one of the few buildable spots right next to our house, like within a stone's throw of like our buck pen and our livestock guardian dog. So we kind of, I would say this is what, Mark, maybe a defense by. We just didn't really want neighbors, and honestly, this neighbor had, ooh, deer tracks. Mark's showing me the deer tracks. Oh yeah, right through there. There's like a nice path right back there. Oh, but where was I? So our neighbors next door, actually a couple years ago, came and said they thought about selling some land, and we got all ready for it and kind of like, hey, when you're ready, we've got a HELOC in place, we're ready to roll. And they decided not to sell, but then they decided to sell again. Which is a good thing though, that they kind of told us that that was something they were considering, because we've been saving ever since to make sure that we could buy the land whenever it became available, and it's available, and now it's ours. It's a really, really nice plot of land, actually. We got a bunch of cedars. It's kind of, it's a little bit surreal. What do you think, Mark?
It is. It's a nice little piece of land. We like our neighbors too, so they've always been great neighbors.
Yeah, so we closed on this morning. So here we are walking our new plot of property, and it's exciting. We have ideas. I won't say plans. We have ideas as to what we want to do, but it probably won't be for a year or so before we start moving. But this is definitely grazable areas up here. Actually, the road front is right that way, and we're just I'm so excited to actually have this bit of land. We've been doing kind of our own little side hustles. Mark tinkers and pews and has done quite a few jobs for people that we know. I am doing goat's milk soap products, goat's milk products like lotions, soaps, sugar scrubs, all the things. So it actually would be nice for business purposes to perhaps put a building over here and start a small business, like officially, because this plot of land is like separately surveyed out. So we could always just switch it to the business name and have all of our commercial insurance on this property while we keep all of our home and farm on the other property. But we'll see. Lots of big dreams. It's a little overwhelming, but boy, it is just so pretty over here.
It is very isolated.
Yeah, I can see my neighbors over that way, but it's just odd to be standing on it and saying like, this is ours. What do you think, June? Do you approve? Now you guys can come over here and we won't have to worry about where you're at and what you're doing. Are there? What? Man, treasures, especially for homesteaders. I was actually just thinking for the craft show I needed to take a couple cinder blocks to tie down my shelter. My little pop-up canopy. Ask and you shall receive, I suppose.